Hi, it's another week, another very challenging week during this season where we are stuck in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis. And I've been talking to my clients as always, finding out how they are doing. And as usual, they tell me the biggest challenge this season is cash, right? So, as I work with a client over this week on how to increase their cash, we look at a few things, and that is to increase the sales and also improve your cash flow through collecting money, your accounts receivables during this COVID-19 series. And that's why I want to do this video to share with you what we have talked about so that I hope that it can also help you to get some ideas on how you can improve your cash flow in this season. But before we start, first of all, this book is the concepts we're going to be talking about. They come from this book, Scaling Up, and Scaling Up is by Vern Harnish, a very famous, internationally well-known business guru who has helped thousands of companies. And I'm Jeremy Han. I'm one of the coaches that assists Vern in helping companies to apply scaling up in their business. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is really some real examples of what we talk about with my clients to help them throughout this difficult season. So there are people like you, CEOs, business owners who are struggling with this question, and I hope that as they find solutions, these solutions will also be able to help you. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about how to increase your sales and also to improve your cash flow during this COVID-19 crisis, because we know cash comes from sales, right? But after you sell, you must be able to collect. So we're going to put together a strategy or a method in this couple of videos, and I'm going to help you to think through this whole process to see what you can do to improve your sales and improve your cash collection. So cash should be your priority. I think you know that by now, right? Because without cash, we really cannot run this business. But the problem is, most of the time, our cash, where is it sitting? It's sitting in somebody else's pocket or somebody else's bank account. So how do we increase cash from sales and collections? And lastly, how do we drive the whole company to make cash a priority? You see, the problem with a lot of companies is that cash is never a priority for everybody. Maybe the finance people, right? But now we are in a situation where the company's survival depends on cash. So let's make it a habit. Let's learn about how we can make cash everybody's problem. So we need to do all this is really because I believe that the virus, the crisis will pass. So let's make use of this opportunity to get rid of bad habits and to build new ones. You see, because so many companies that I work with, why they have got bad cash situation is really because they have either a set of very bad cash habits or they've allowed their customers to develop a set of bad cash habits. Meaning we allow people to not pay us and we allow them to get away with it for a long time. So how do we get rid of these bad habits and build new ones? Okay, so what we want to talk about in this video is really how to build habits for scaling up and for having a healthy cash flow. So without further ado, I will see you in the next video to talk about how we can increase our sales and improve cash flow during the COVID crisis. See you for the next video. Thank you. So welcome back, and let's jump into this topic on how do we increase cash from sales and collections. So we all know that cash is like the engine of our business, right? Some people say cash is like oxygen. Some people say it's like blood. Without cash, we just simply cannot run our business. So it is like an engine as well, right? It drives us, it helps us to move forward, it keeps us in the air. So now let's talk about how do we increase cash from sales first, then we'll talk about how do we increase cash from collections. I think the key point I want to make here is we need to incentivize sales and collections by creating a new value proposition for the customer. So a lot of my clients, when I was talking to them during this period of time, they say, we want people to buy more, or we want people to pay us faster, and the usual way is to offer a discount. Now, do you do the same thing? Like give people a discount, just get them to buy more, buy faster, or to pay you faster? Well, many people do that, right? But to me, that's playing defensive. What about playing offensive? How can we take the initiative to do even something more for our clients? And that's why what I want to share with you today, the strategy is not to give a discount, but to ask ourselves, how can we create a new value proposition for the customer in addition to our existing products or services that they're buying. What is their need and fear in this period of time? What is the pain point? What's the biggest problem that they are going to be facing now? And can you create a value proposition and pull it together with your existing products so that you increase the value proposition to the customer? It is what I call adding new layers of value to your business. Now, ask yourself this question: what are the problems that your client is likely to face during this COVID-19 crisis? What did this crisis create? What kind of problems did this crisis create for your clients, right? And then how do you make it easier for people to buy and to pay? So my client that I was talking to, they are a business advisory firm, and one of the things that they created is a COVID crisis management package that went together along with their usual business advisory packages. So it looks something like that, right? So in the center is always the existing product or service that you have already provided. And then how do we create layers of value, additional layers of value that our customer will need during this period of time? So go back and ask yourself this question: what problems have this crisis created for your customers? So in the case of the example that I'm giving to you, this business advisory firm, on top of providing business advisory, corporate advisory, tax, they are coming out with a COVID crisis management package for their clients. Now, usually that package has to be charged. It's actually offered as a new value proposition or new product in the market. But what I told them to do is put it together as a value and a added layer of value to your existing products. Now, instead of giving a discount, right now, what you want to do is to tell your client that, hey, for the same price that I usually charge you, I am adding on new layers of value. So it make it worthwhile for them to buy your product during the season because it becomes even more relevant to them. And you can use the same strategy for accounts receivable that you want to collect. So instead of saying, let me give you a discount, if you were to pay up now, tell them that, look, if you pay up now, I have something more to offer to you. I'm going to give you something additional, something that you need in this period of time. And to be able to communicate that to your customers, I'm going to recommend to you to use what we call a tiered option strategy. It means normally we go into a negotiation, a discussion on products and price with just one option. But with one option only, there's only one direction your discussion can go, and that is the price can only go down, right? And that is why we always end up giving discounts. But with a tiered option strategy, what you can do now is you can play with the kind of value you want to give to your customers to incentivize them for the behavior that you want. So it looks something like that. So for example, my client told me that the standard package for this business advisory package that's offered in the industry is about $5,000. So everybody charges about $5,000. And they told me that usually the only way you can get the business is to give a discount on the $5,000. That means you become cheaper than other people. Now, do you want to give discounts? Maybe sometimes you have to, but I'm sharing with you, this is a way to give more value instead of discount, right? So using this tiered option strategy, it looks something like that. So first of all, you take option 3, which is what everybody's offering, and put it as the lowest option that you have to offer. Then you have option 2. If you look at it, it's slightly more expensive than option 3, but you put in the extra layer of value. In this particular case, it is the crisis management package, right? Because every business is facing a COVID crisis kind of a problem. So their added value, the added layer of value is a service worth X amount of dollars called a crisis management package. And you put in an option that if you were to buy the business advisory package plus crisis management package, it is $6,000. Then you offer even a higher option, which is option 1, right? It says $8,000 here, and you get crisis management package cash flow package, which is another layer of value which they can offer, right? It's another package that they can put into the deal to help clients to manage their cash flow in the season. And then of course, the most basic would be the standard business advisory package. Now, a customer will come to you and say, hey, I only want this $5,000 package. Why are you showing me all this? Now, the whole idea is to give them the perception of value that will allow you to negotiate. You will be able to choose what do you want to offer in order to incentivize the kind of behavior that you want, right? So for example, what you can do is this. If this is a sales situation, you can tell the client, look, if you buy option 3 and pay now, I will give you option 2, right? Which means that you are paying $5,000 for something that costs $6,000. And that gives the client a perception of value that, hey, they have gotten $1,000. That's actually about a 20% increase in value to their value proposition. Or if you buy option 2 and pay now, I will give you option 3. So I pay $6,000 to get $8,000 worth of value. You see, so you want to move them up the value scale, right? So even if they say, you know, I got no money, I just want the standard package. So instead of giving them a discount on option 3, which is what people usually do, you give them more value. But you see, the beauty of this is it's up to you to define how you want to offer option 2. It's up to you to define what's the value proposition. So it doesn't necessarily need to increase your costs, right? But the value perception has gone up, and that's why you're able to charge more. Now, but if this is a collections kind of a situation, the customer has already paid you, right, for last year's services, which is a real problem because in this business advisory firm, they do a lot of work on an annual basis, right? So they offer an annual business advisory package, and the work has been done in 2019, but now it's March 2020. They have not collected the money yet. So how do I go to the client and ask for payment? Normally, you'll be saying, now we need cash, we'll give you a discount, and if you can pay me now, I'll knock off how much from your bill, right? But that's not what we want to do. Again, go to the customer. You know their pain point is that everybody is suffering from COVID-19 and they need your crisis management package. So tell them and say, if you were to pay now, we'll throw in this crisis management package for you. So again, it's about talking about value and giving them the perception of the value that you are giving to them if they behave in the way that you want them to behave. So, to sum up, always give value, not discounts. Think value. Learn to think in terms of value and things in terms of talking and communicating with your customer value rather than discount. So, create as many layers of value as you can in this season and use this layers of value to your advantage in how you sell and how you collect money. Reward your customers for good behavior. In this case, the good behavior is to buy from you or to pay you on time, right? So the more layers of value that you have created in addition to your basic products and services, the more layers you can use to incentivize good behaviors, right? And lastly, create options for your customers. Don't just give them one option. Give them many options, many different layers of value to choose from so that you can create that framework where you want to negotiate with your customer. The power will now be in your hands, not in their hands. So I hope this video has helped you because this is what I'm doing with my clients to help them. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you some actual numbers of what we are really going for and how to put it into an execution plan so that the whole company will focus on getting the cash back into your pocket. Thank you very much and see you soon.